G'day, this is Marie Wilson and I'm going to give you a guitar lesson on how to play one of my songs free, and I'd like to dedicate this particular lesson to Gracie Dawn and Patrina Lewis, and also a big thanks to Joe Bayer for taking us out on her beautiful yacht out on the Sydney Harbour. Alright, we're going to start with the intro now, and now you can notice that I've got my capo on the 2nd fret. Essentially we'll be playing this in the key of G, but with the capo on the 2nd fret it bumps it up to A. So if it's a little bit high for you, depending on what your range is, you might end up taking off the capo, but this, if you were to play this the way I play it now, then you'll be able to actually play along with the CD. Alright, to start with the intro, we're going to start with a G, and it's important, there's a couple of ways to play a G chord. One way is to just have your middle finger up the top, on the 3rd fret on the E string, the index finger on the 2nd fret on the A string, and the 4th finger on the 3rd fret and the top E string. This time what we're going to do is actually put your 4th finger on the B string on the 3rd fret, and then your little finger directly under it, and that's on the E string. And then that way it gives you a really nice crisp sound, and it's an important element for the intro of free. So the first chord is a G, and I'll just go through the chords with you first for the intro. First chord is a G, the 2nd chord is a C, and all we're doing is moving the the index finger and the middle finger, we're just moving them down one string, staying on exactly the same frets. So it goes. Alright, then we're going to go up and we're going to play a D. Alright, so we're going to leave the two top fingers here exactly where they are. We're just going to move our index finger and middle finger so that we're playing a D string. Alright, so by leaving your little finger on the E string, what we're playing is actually a D suspended 4th, and then we're going to come off, and so that we finish on just a regular D. So the sort of the key note in this little intro is this top string here, so you need to make sure you just keep your finger on that. So it starts on the G, up to the C, stay on the C, and then we go up to the D. And then we repeat. Go into our first verse. So that's the intro. Practice that, and if you want to get some more detailed information on the actual strumming, how I'm actually doing the strumming, because I am using this part of my hand quite a bit, you can check out the strumming video, or strumming section of this lesson, and I'll give you some more detailed information. Okay, so we're coming from the intro straight into that first verse, and we're going back onto the G, so you should be quite comfortable with playing that by now. So we go from the G up to the C again, and instead of staying on the C this time, we're going to go to an E minor, but I'm just going to show you a slightly different version of the E minor just for this first verse. So start on the G. It's not the final destination, up to the C. Now, what we're going to do here is play an E minor. Now, normally you would play an E minor with the two middle fingers, middle finger and then the 4th finger. What we're going to do on this occasion is I'm going to leave my 2 fingers just so that I can keep these 2 notes, sort of the high notes staying in there. We're actually going to play the E minor with the index finger and the middle finger. All right. So I'm not actually sure what chord that makes it, some sort of variation to an E minor, but basically I like to keep the 2 top fingers on there to keep that nice high notes going. So it's not the final destination, up to the C, right, and then we're going down to the E minor and leaving those 2 fingers on the top two strings here. It's the journey on the way back up to the C. So if you're not used to that change, it might just take a little bit for your fingers to get around the board a little bit, because it is a little bit tricky, or it's a little bit different to what you might be used to. So from the top, it's not the final destination, down to the E minor. It's the journey on the way back to the C and up to the G. And I can feel these times are changing. All right, now that's just a regular D. So now for the first time, you can take your little finger off that top E string and give it a rest. Nothing could stand in my way. All right, so that was from the D. We're just going to a regular E minor up to an A7. Now, if you're not sure how to play an A7 or any of these chords, you can just check any online guitar thing will show you how to do those basic guitar chords. So just check them out there, or just freeze frame it and then have a look to see where my fingers are. Up to the A7, gonna be free, which is a C. Now this is a different way of playing a C. I know it's a bit of a pain, but a regular way to play a C, or a sort of standard way, is to just use these three fingers and leaving the E string open. But that means that you're best not to play that bottom E string, because it kind of sounds outside of that chord. So a way to get around that is to actually put your middle finger on the G string and put your little finger on the A string 3rd fret, which makes it a C. And that's called a C with a G bass. Gonna be free, free to find where I belong. So that's just a D. I'm gonna be free, free to find where I belong. Okay, so after we've sort of come out of that first verse / chorus, we're going to go into, it's like an in-between, I guess, a turnaround between the chorus back into the next verse. And in the recording, this is where the guitar comes in and goes. Right, so all the chords are here. Again, we've got our G, which is just the G, straight up to the C, and then up to the D, and you don't have to worry about the little finger being on that top E string. Free to find my way up to the C. I'm gonna be free. Which is just G, C, D. And then we're going back into our second verse. All right, so after the turnaround, we're going to go into the second verse. Again, we're starting on the G, and remember the chords for this are the G, the C with the two strings down at the top, and then we're going to the E minor that's still got our 2 fingers on the top strings, and then we're going to a C with a G bass, right? I know at times I act a little crazy, which is the C, down to the E minor. And I've made mistakes along the way, which is the C and the G bass. Down to back down to the G. But I can see the silver lining to the D. It's about to bring a change. Up to the E minor, just a regular E minor. I've been waiting for to the A7. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna be free, which is a C and a G bass, to the D. Free to find where I belong. Oh, free to find my way. Oh, this is just G, C to D. I'm gonna be free. Do, 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 do. Okay, the next section is the bridge, and with this, the main chords in there, it's just the 2 chords, is the C with the G bass. So remember, we've got our middle finger on the E string, 3rd fret, and then our little finger on the A string 3rd fret, which is basically making up the G and the C bass. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to start on the C, and then you leave your fingers exactly where they are, just lighten them a little bit and slide them up 2 frets. And then we're going to slide them back down. And you may need to practice this if you haven't done it before. But you don't have to worry about not playing any particular strings, just play all the strings with this, and it's all about the strumming pattern and the feel, really. Right, so the bridge is from the C, up 2 frets to the D, back 2 frets down to the C. I won't fight this feeling. All right, I just realised something that I do there. This is what's called a hammer. So if you notice that my middle finger sort of came off the strings a little bit. All right, now that's all about the timing. So when to hit the string. So you've got to have your middle finger off the string as you hit it, and then put it straight back down. Again, you may need to practice that if you haven't done it before, but it's a cool thing that you can do. Just keeps it a little bit more interesting. So we start on the C with our middle finger hammering that D string. I can't fight this feeling. It's leading me so far away. Just up to the G there. Believe in me, which is the C to the G bass, down to an E minor. My baby. Back up to the C, because everything's gonna be. Now we're just gonna play a regular D. Okay. And just let that ring out while we go back into the third verse. All right, now I don't think I need to go through all the chords for the third verse, because they're exactly the same as the first and the second, of course, except for the lyrics. So it's just a matter of getting more familiar with the layout of the song. And then the next section will be the outro for the song. All right, so we're just going to finish the song now, and this is really nothing that you haven't already learnt during the progress of this song. So the outro, after we have finished that final verse, I'm gonna be free, free to find where I belong. Oh, which is just G, C to D. Free to find my way. I'm gonna be free. Now, just to finish off, I go back to sort of more of the intro feel. So the intro C that we played. Because I'm free. Well, I'm free to find out just where I belong. I'm gonna be free, free to find my way, baby. Oh yeah. Now to finish it, we just go from a C, C, D, finishing on the G. So that's it. The most important thing is not that many chords for this song. I guess the most important thing is just the feel and the different sort of shapes of C's that we play in this song. All right, so I'm just going to take you through this drumming pattern for free, because it is, I guess, one of the key elements of the song in terms of the percussive nature of it. So I always use a pick. So if you don't use a pick, I would recommend you trying to use one, firstly, because you'll end up injuring your fingers, particularly if you're a hard player like I am. So it's best to use a pick. Now, when you're using a pick, hold it firmly in between your thumb and your forefinger, just like this. Right, and then so it's sort of almost at a right angle to the string, so that you're not hitting your fingers, although you might end up hitting your fingers a little bit, but the pick should take the most of the force. But the most important thing is you don't hold it too tightly. If you hold it too tightly, you'll end up sort of you'll end up hitting the strings too hard, and you just won't get that nice kind of percussive. It's got to be able to sort of move around a little bit within your fingers, and you've just got to have a nice easy wrist and allow yourself to kind of flop it around a little bit, but just hold it firmly. If you don't hold it firmly enough, obviously it's going to go flying. So just want to try and get that nice balance between the two. Now, the other important thing with the strumming pattern is that I use this part of my hand a lot to mute the string. So if I wasn't to use my hand at all, the strumming pattern would be. Which is nothing bad. It's just I think it just lacks that sort of percussive element. So by just sort of deadening the ringing out of the sound on the strings with this hand helps give a percussive nature. So I'll just try and slow it down for you. So if that doesn't come naturally to you, just try and practice that strumming pattern a few times. Slow it down if you have to, so that you can really get a good feel for it, and then speed it up and have a listen to it. And look, just have a play around with it. You know, as long as you're getting the general sort of rhythm right, I think that's, you know, the most important thing. So have fun with it, and good luck.